Hey, congratulations, both Brad and Sean, on everything over the years. I mean, my God, either one of these two bands could headline this tour and probably sell the damn thing out. How in the heck did this tour, the combination of both bands, come to be?
It's something that
I
was
think
kind
it was
of.
the
Go ahead, John.
no, yeah. Like I think it was written in the stars somehow, man. Um, we always tend to sort of drift out and then meet each other up along the way and kind of connect again and have a bunch of fun, and then we'll drift apart again, and then it's just kind of the nature of the business. But it made sense, and we heard that they were going out for the 20th anniversary, which is a massive milestone. So we figured, look, if we can get a piece of that action, why not, and go out and hang out with our friends and celebrate with them. So that's kind of what we were hoping for, man.
Yeah. It's I find it interesting looking at the video here. Three Doors Down, by and large, has kind of been a light band. I mean, Brad, you've always talked about some real stuff and some heart wrenching stuff, but a lot of positivity. And you have this nice bright man cave there. And Sean, a lot of your music can be really, really dark. And here we are. It looks like it's 2 o'clock in the morning over at Spanky McGee's.
That's a good observation, actually. I think that our rooms perfectly sum us up, right? Because I'm the dark side to Brad's light side, but I think I think both of us, we kind of have a similar hopeful outlook, at least. You know what I mean? I just present it slightly differently,
Yeah.
and I'm a fan of the way they present a similar sentiment. I think it's kind of cool to see the flip side of the coin and say we both saying the same thing, but we are choosing to be more acerbic and angry about it, and Brad's choosing to be more beautiful and sort of hopeful about it. And I think it's a good sort of juxtaposition. So for us to go out together, we kind of balance each other out, I think. And then I think that's important too, sonically and
But I
as
like
people.
but I like to listen the way that Sean says it. I like his outlook on
I
it.
like to listen. I like to listen more to the way you guys do it. Honestly, my angry days when I was a kid listening to all the heavy stuff, I really don't do it anymore. I find myself listening to a lot more alternative stuff. You know what I mean? And really stuff that's got great melody and that's got great lyrics, and that's why you guys are great, man.
Thank you, brother.
That's pretty cool. Brad, how challenging was it to have your first song, Kryptonite, which you wrote at the tender age of 15, become such an immediate success nationally? I mean, is anyone really prepared for that quick of a rise?
No, I don't think so, man. It was a lot to handle. It was a lot to hand a 20, 21-year-old. When, by the time that we got signed and recorded the song and started touring, I was 20 as we got signed, 21 when we started touring. It was a lot to hand a 21-year-old, man. And looking back on it, I'm incredibly thankful for my family and my friends. And I'm glad that I have so many brothers and sisters that never treated me any different than just being their little brother.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I think I would have maybe not handled it quite the same way. And because they never really treated me any different, and I had good, and my friends are all cool about it and stuff, otherwise it would have been a little more overwhelming than it was anyhow.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, Brad is the sole original member of Three Doors Down. Now, how has songwriting changed over the span of personnel changes for you? Is it a collaborative effort? Do you guys get together in a band in a room and jam, or do you write most of the stuff and then the other guys will add their flavorings like the icing to the cake?
It was the last record that we've only done really one with these guys that we have now and with everybody. It was a similar process. A lot of times we don't really have any set way of writing a song. Sometimes I have the lyrics in my head and we'll put music to them. Probably more times than not, though, they have some music and I'll just kind of live with it for a while and hopefully it'll kind of spark an idea. And for me, sometimes the idea to write about something is the hardest part about writing. Once I have an idea and kind of like what I want to say, I can put some words to it, But it was different. It was different in a lot of ways of writing this record. And you kind of, I think every individual as a musician speaks a different language. And when you first start writing with somebody and you hear them play, and it takes a minute to kind of get gelled with them because you're kind of learning their language. And it took a little while with us, but it was a lot of fun writing the records with these guys. And And at the same time, I still look back and kind of at the same time, I really enjoyed writing songs with Matt. And me and Matt Roberts we could write a song. And I enjoyed it. It was just something because we started playing music together. We started together in his garage. I mean, I've started playing drums on somebody else's drums that was in his garage, because I didn't have any. And it's hard to replace that with anything, and I can't say that I'll ever write a song with somebody the way that I wrote songs with him, because it just ain't. It's not that they won't write songs just as good, but they won't be those songs,
Right. And Shaun, you've been with Dale and John the majority of the time. How do songs come together for Seether, especially with technology has changed quite a bit over the past 20 years. I think it used to be you almost had to get into a room and play together, and nowadays you can be on different sides of the planet and send stems, and you've got Pro Tools, and there you go.
Well, I mean, I always just write the stuff, and then when when the songs are done, I send them out to the guys to check out, because we've done some stuff in the past where it's been, we did an album where we wrote most of it together, which was kind of a cool experience, because you got to see how they created on the spot and what their input was. So there's been those moments, but really throughout this career, it's been mostly me doing it. And then when I'm done, I'll send it off to the guys, and they'll give me feedback, or they'll say, hey, we'll list which songs we like the most, which then make the album. But so this whole process for writing, I spent most of 2019 in this exact room, in this exact spot, writing all these songs. And then we ended up having 50 odd ideas, and we ended up recording 21 tracks instead of just the 13 which came out. And then so we got some other stuff coming out as the next few months transpire, I guess. But it's just always been, for me, it's not that it's if somebody brings me an idea that I can riff off of, I'm very happy to do it. But for the most part, it's always just really been Johnny drumming, Dale playing bass, and me, because we were a three-piece for a long time as well, and that's kind of been the dynamic. And I just think that what I'm trying to write is a specific thing, and I've got a specific vision, and I always have, and the way I hear it is specific. And when I'm sort of formulating, when I'm coming up with basic drum ideas for John to embellish, it's how I'm hearing how these things should accent a song, and how I would hear it, and it's different to how he would hear it. But that's not to say that that's a bad thing. It's just that you get a different kind of end result.
Mm-hmm.
And like Brad says, for me, it's a language that you have to learn, and we all have a similar. Some people are just not writers, you know what I mean, and other people are great at saying, okay, cool, there's your idea, I know how to make it better. And that's kind of the roles they play. And so for me, it's good to know that I've got guys like Corey, Dale, and John, and if I send them something that they can either say, well, how about we try to do this, and maybe this bass line is better, or this drum part's better, or when we were actually in studio, let them be themselves, let them actually express themselves within the song. But the only the thing I've been good at for so long is to put the song together, and then sort of come up with most of the parts and sort of the atmosphere and the end result, and then give them free reign to say, okay, cool, well, here we go. This is what I've got. How can you improve on that? And that's kind of how we work. So being a part doesn't really make much difference to us.
Nice. Let's talk about both bands, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, Shaun. What's your favorite Three Doors Down song?
I've always been a big fan of Loser, just because that's how I felt at the time.
I was thinking about that question, and I was kind of humming through, especially The Better Life, and I would have bet $1 million you would have said Loser. So I would have.
Yeah, because that came out around 2000, and we were just I was literally living in a drummer's house. We were touring in a pickup truck with a trailer on the back. My brother was doing sound while Dale and him slept in the back of this leaky canopy for the back of the pickup, and the drummer and I would drive. It was a horrible time. We had no money. We'd stop and eat. We'd stop and get bread if we could afford it, and we would just put ketchup or mustard on it, and that was our food. That was how we survived. You know what I mean? So at the time, I was like, yeah, this. And I think we may have even had the album in the car at the time, because it was right around the time when we were starting to get some kind of traction in South Africa and starting to do some kind of touring. And it wasn't financially very successful, but it was fun to do. And I've always kind of felt that way throughout my life. So that song always resonated with me, and it's always one that throughout their careers there have been other songs that I've really enjoyed as well, but it's just that one that at the time and place was such an impactful song for me that it's just always rung true.
Okay, and same kind of question to you, Brad. I mean, have you ever covered a Seether song, or if you would, what would that song be?
I don't know. I walk around my house and cover their songs all the time. I walk around my house singing, all I really want is something beautiful to say.
Well,
much louder than that.
Very, very cool. I know you guys have got a whole bunch of these to do. One final question. Any thoughts on having both bands come out at the end of the show and do a medley or a duet of songs? Because that would really be cool.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I've always thought that a really cool tour could be one where you start with two bands and the first band starts, and then towards the end of the set, then you replace their bassist with your bassist, and they play another song, and then you replace the drummer with your drummer. So it's just like this, it's this fluid transition from one band to the other, and then kind of do a thing at the end. But we've done some collaborations in the past, Brad and I. So there's never say never. You know what I mean?
There you go. You heard it here first. Can't wait for the show Friday, September the 3rd here in Reno at the GSR, and of course all across the country. Congratulations on everything. Thanks for the time this morning, guys. Appreciate it. Good to see you both.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, man. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
You guys take care.
You too, man.